Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Tuesday, July 9th, and we're continuing our study in Ezekiel 1. Yesterday, we went through verses 1:1 to 1:3, and today we are up to verse 4. I have quite a few notes for verse 4. There was a lot of interesting things in the commentaries, and it made me think of some very interesting things. We will see how far we get today, and then we'll move forward tomorrow. So in verse 4, it says, "And behold, as I looked, behold, a stormy wind came out of the north, and a great cloud with brightness around it, and fire flashing forth continually. And in the midst of the fire, as it were gleaming metal." Okay. One of the first things I asked was, what is to the north? Well, on the map, what is to the north is Assyria. But as I read through some commentaries, most of them are saying that this is coming from above, as in coming from God. And when I looked at the King James Version, I saw something very interesting. It said, "And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire." Okay. So as we break that down, how does a fire enfold on itself? Well, I'm kind of thinking of when the wood in the campfire collapses on itself. I'm not sure if that's what it looked like, but we have to keep in mind that Ezekiel is trying to describe something that's never been seen before. So, it's kind of like trying to describe a kangaroo if you've never ever seen a kangaroo. So we have to keep that in mind as we go through this. We've got this fire enfolding and the color of amber. So that color of amber is kind of a yellowish color. And when we looked at the ESV, it said, "And in the midst of the fire, it was gleaming metal." So there was something shiny in this fire for sure. So I started to look at what does it mean when things rotate and turn? And in Judaism, it's considered everything going towards the south. And the north means the mantle of God, and that we are created in his image. So the fact that it's coming from the north has that divine sovereignty, that reverence attached to it. The gleaming metal, of course, right away, I'm thinking of the sword, and that this is spiritual warfare in some way. Was probably difficult. The other thing is the whirlwind. Now, one of the things that hit me is a whirlwind. That's a very strong wind. What if that wind is God's breath? God breathed his breath into us when he created human beings. And that would be very interesting. So with God's breath, he is also speaking that when he says, "I am," every time Jesus says, "I am," he is speaking and that breath is coming through. When the word Yahweh, we call it Yahweh because we added those vowels. It is actually the breathing in and breathing out sound. So when a newborn baby takes that first breath, they are actually proclaiming God's name. They are proclaiming the great I am. So that made me think of the power of when Jesus said those I am statements. Now, in John 18:4-6, this is where Jesus is arrested and something very interesting happens. Then Jesus, knowing all that would happen to him, came forward and said, "Whom do you speak?" Notice, he said, "Whom do you speak?" Nothing has happened to the soldiers. They answered him, "Jesus of Nazareth." And Jesus said to them, "I am he." Judas, who betrayed him, was standing with them. When Jesus said to them, "I am he," they drew back and fell to the ground. Jesus said, "I am he," and bam, they fell right out. Now, going back to this glowing metal, in the Hebrew term occurs in the Bible only in this one place in Ezekiel here and also in 8:2. It means amber. It's a brilliant semi-precious stone found in the fabrication of divine statues. It serves to enhance the shine of an eye. So this is the eye of God shining through this light. The windstorms with lightning and fire were typical signs of a theophany. So when you saw that, you knew that God was showing up and showing off. So here's what we know. This vision is coming from the Lord. It is coming with all his glory, with all his majesty, and all his divine might. This is a powerful, deep vision. And tomorrow, we're going to get deeper into it. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.